Did you see the other news story about the guy stuck in the chimney?
No, I did not.
This is on the news last night. This has nothing to do with wrestling, but just apparently some idiot was wanting to get into some guy's house without him knowing about it or whatever. So he decided to go in the chimney. And so they had this guy on the news. I came in after the beginning, and it was just like a 1-minute news, blurb on the TV news. So I didn't even get the city or where it was. But the guy's standing there going, well, yeah, I heard this voice is yelling in my house. And I thought, I can't be imagining this. And when I got closer to the wall, then I heard it. Apparently, this guy got stuck in a chimney and was yelling and praying like, hallelujah. I think he was saying like, Hare Krishna, hallelujah. Because he's stuck in somebody's chimney and he can't get out. So they cut and they show footage. They had to call a fire department to come and break into the wall and break the chimney, basically bust into the actual chimney itself to get this motherfucker out of this guy's house. And it was a mess. And I started thinking, not that you would be able to, because I don't think the top of my chimney is large enough and it has a cap on it and all that stuff. But if I was in that guy's place and I had a motherfucker stuck in my chimney, what would I do? Would I call the fire department? If I was listening and some motherfucker trying to break into my house, nefarious purposes, was in there screaming, let me out, get me out. And I had to sit there and evaluate that situation and say, well, how are they going to get this numbnuts piece of shit out of there without causing damage to my home? And there's my creek stone that my father laid and the wood paneling around it. I would have fucking said, you know what, pal, you got there on your own. Reverse the procedure. And I would have let him stay in there and rot and liquefy until he dripped out into a pan before I would have them breaking up my walls and my stonework and etc. Wouldn't you?
Well, so you're just going to sit there and listen to him screaming for days?
I would think if you stuffed a goddamn comforter or some blankets or whatever in the fireplace, and it wouldn't be too off-putting, and you could muffle that for a little while. It'd probably die down after a while anyway.
Well, I still think you're not allowed to just kill him or let him just die without calling someone. I wouldn't be doing a goddamn thing to him.
I think ignoring him.
His family could still sue you. They could still sue you. Let me ask you this.
How could they prove that I knew that this motherfucker was in my chimney?
Because what are all these comforters doing there?
Well, who's going to come in and see the comforters? If I don't call
So you're just getting rid of the body. The body's gone.
This is a foolproof fucking deal.
Foolproof.
Because this guy didn't tell anybody, hey, I'm going to go crawl down that guy's chimney. He did it in secrecy. And nobody's in my house or close enough to my house that they can hear this fucking buffucking screaming, oh, get me out of this chimney. Hare Krishna or whatever. So, and if I've already told him, look here, I'm not going to bother you or impinge on you in any way or infringe on your movements. You got yourself there. You get yourself out. I'm going to be over here reading my new book.
This is like something from Creepshow. I don't know what to say about this.
And nobody's going to see the comforter because once the noise dies down coming from out of the chimney, I'm going to take those blankets and comforters and sound baffling equipment and put them back where they came from.
On your bed?
Well, wherever. I'll wash them first.
Oh, well, let me ask you this.
Well, it depends on it, because if the decomposition, I think that the sound would die down before decomposition would begin, so I'm pretty sure he hadn't dripped on them as of yet. So I'll throw them in the washer, put them back on the fucking bed, or in the guest bedroom. And that way, everybody's happy. And then just see how long it takes. And also, if you were to light you couldn't light a fire for a while because the smoke would come out in the house. So I would think that some element of decomposition would have to occur. And then probably when you saw something running down the sides, you stick a drip pan in there like they got under a furnace or a freezer or whatever. And you just pick it up. And then when you can tell that air is escaping or coming through, then you could start a fire and it'd probably hasten the rest of the departure of the clog.
Well, wrestling's gain was trauma film's loss. Let me ask you this. Well, that's a very Stephen King way of dealing with problems. How do you think Mick Foley would deal with a man being caught in his chimney?
Well, now, first, he would check and see if the man was wearing a red suit and a big white beard. And honestly, I don't think that anybody would be caught in Mick's chimney because Mick is such a Santa Claus aficionado that every time he gets a new piece of real estate, he makes sure that they got a double-wide chimney to prevent Santa having any friction when he comes in and out. Because, you know, Santa, some on those tight modern chimneys, Santa's really struggling.
So if you were going to break in, you would almost slide right down.
Well, that's true, but Mick, you know, he keeps a fire in the fireplace, so only Santa's magic. Elsewise, you'll burn your ass. You try to get down Mick's chimney.
No comforters. Fire. That's a very different proposal.
Yeah. See, man, maybe that's a good public service announcement. Keep a fire going in your fireplace at all times to prevent burglars from coming down your chimney. And it'll also prevent property damage when the fire department has to come.
You have a wood fire or a fireplace or a gas fireplace?
No, what the fuck? It's like a low-fat Twinkie. If you can't put wood in the fireplace and set it on fire, don't have a goddamn fireplace.
I agree. Otherwise, it's just a little fire show. What the fuck is that?
Well, yeah, but besides that, then you've got a gas fucking line going into one of the rooms in your house that you can ignite. That's a recipe for disaster.
Completely agree.
There was a house down the road from here when I was a kid that they had faulty gas going into their house or something. I don't know what the issue was. I was 9 years old, so I didn't get into the specifics of it. But apparently there was some kind of leak. Either there was a gas stove or gas heating or whatever. This guy had gone to. It was a nice house. Sit way back on a hill off one of the roads here that we used to have that was rural before the city found us. And this guy apparently that lived there went to work, and his wife probably maybe struck a match or a lighter to light a cigarette, and the house fucking blew up with her in it. And they were so far up on this hill that apparently the people across the street, across the way from them, down this big front yard and across the way, this woman's in her kitchen. She didn't hear anything. Potentially she may have been deaf. Who knows? But she's washing her dishes in her kitchen sink and looks out the kitchen window right in front of her. And here's the woman from across the street with all of her hair and clothes burned off of her, completely naked.
Oh, shit.
Bleeding from various places, and just comes and puts her hands up on the window and goes, help! So that was a very off-putting way to start a Tuesday morning. And, what?
First of all, this horrible story that you couldn't tell without glee in your voice. and then you get to this, and just what an ending you have. That's a hell of a way to start a Tuesday morning.
Well, it was something that she didn't expect when she was just idly washing her dishes and minding her own business. And they had to call a bunch of people to come out there and deal with the various things that were going on. The house that was on fire, the gas that was leaking, the woman that had had her clothes and hair blown off of her fucking self.
All right.
It was a whole deal. You know what? Let's just stay away from fireplaces and gas and any type of heating source.
Well, not any type of heating source.
Well, I'd rather be cold than fucking have my clothes and my goddamn hair blown off.
Are you going to get rid of all the heat in Castle Cornette? Is this the next thing?
I didn't say that either, but I may look into it.